Today I'm talking with Drew Correa, the producer behind Mr. Carter, featuring Lil Wayne and Jay-Z. You told him it was a sample.
Yeah.
But you just were lying to him?
I guess, yeah. This right here is my secret weapon. That's what tricked Wayne.
We're breaking down the whole thing. What's in the mix, how we made the beat, and the story behind one of hip-hop's biggest collabs. How long have you been producing music before you started working with Lil Wayne?
Started messing around with beats when I was like 16. I met Wayne, I think, when I was like 21-ish. I didn't really understand the technical side of production and all that until I went to Full Sail and kind of got that entire education. As soon as I graduated Full Sail, I started interning at the studio in Miami called Studio Center. I started off as an intern and just busted my ass there. I eventually became Trina's engineer. Trina and Wayne started dating. Wayne didn't have a place to record when he came out to Miami. This was in 2005. Trina's people somehow got him in contact with me, and we had our first session together. Because Wayne couldn't find a studio, so they went to me as their last resort. He just kept returning until one day, he's like, hey, man, come with me now, you're Young Money. He took me from the studio and away from Trina also.
What was it like working with him? Or is it like working with him?
It is, it's wild. He doesn't write.
He doesn't write at all?
He does not write. No.
He just, that's all freestyles?
It's not freestyling. Like, a lot of people think that he's freestyling. It's not freestyling. He has a good memory. Yeah, it's more like he hears the beat and he's just like, and he just remembers it somehow. And it depends. Sometimes he'll drop down 4 bars and keep listening some more, or sometimes he'll just do the whole 16 in one take.
I mean, that's pretty incredible just to step up to the mic, kind of hear something in your head. Like, he's not writing anything down on his iPhone, just like pure vibes, it sounds like.
Pure vibes. I have seen him with a notebook, but he's not like, I think it's an idea notebook. I never seen what's in it. Okay. But every once in a while I'll see him go like, but I think it's like something for later, or maybe
it's just like his food order. It's not even lyrics at all. I want to talk a little bit about when Jay-Z came into the picture, specifically for this song on Mr. Carter. Did you know that Jay-Z was going to be featured on this?
No. No. What's funny is I never even thought of showing Jay-Z it, because his last name is Carter too. That never even crossed my mind. So yeah, when I played it for Wayne, and then he after he put his verse on it, I haven't heard about it in 4 months, like a couple of months, like 2-3 months, and then I get a call from Mac Main, which Wayne's like right-hand man in Young Money. I think it was New Year's, and I think I called him or he called me. And we were just saying like, yo, Happy New Year's, like stuff like that. And then he was like, oh, Jay-Z's gonna get on that record? And I was like, what? He just like slipped that in like nothing. I was like, no. And he's like, yeah. They're working on getting Jay-Z on there. And I'm like, man, you're full of shit. No. So I dismissed it because, I don't know, it sounded too good to be true at the time. So I never really thought much of it. And then eventually we got the call. Jay hopped on it and then got a chance to hear a rough mix of it, and super excited.
Nice. I want to hear a little bit about what was it like for you to play Mr. Carter for Lil Wayne. What was his thoughts when he first heard it?
About a week earlier, I MP3'd him the Mr. Carter beat. Thought he heard it and just thought he didn't like it. A week later, me and Infamous are there to show him a completely different track that we're working on. But out of nowhere, he goes, hey, what's this Mr. Carter beat that I keep hearing about? It wouldn't play when you MP3'd it to me. And I went, oh. So I ran in my car. I luckily had a burnt copy of it because we used to burn CDs. This is 2007, by the way. I grabbed the burnt copy of it, and then me and Infamous played it for him immediately. I told him I found this crazy sample. You're not going to believe what I found, which it wasn't a sample. I played
wait. You told him it was a sample.
Yeah.
But you just were lying to him?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to sell the mood sometimes, right?
Yeah. Okay. So what was it then? If it wasn't a sample, it was something that you just recorded.
It was. I had a friend come over, Sharon Prescott. I had him record it. I slowed down the beat and had him record to the beat incredibly slow, and then re-sped him back up. It was my way of doing it back then. Obviously, there's a lot more easier methods of doing it today, but I did it all on the MPC, so that's how we were doing it back then. I try to make it sound as much as a sample as I could, which wasn't. And I'm not sure if he knows till this day if it is or it's not. We've never spoken about it ever since.
You're talking specifically about the chorus, right? Like, hey, Mr. Carter.
Yeah.
That part is like such a hooky part of the song too.
Yeah.
So like, if it's from a sample, if it's not, it doesn't so matter in my mind. What do you think something about this record is that most people would be surprised to know?
The ending of Mr. Carter, when you get that crowd effect, I had some sort of dream about like, it was like a crowd and they were all singing Mr. Carter. And I swear to everything, when I leave the set, it's gonna be on both feet. So that's how I kind of came up with the name. And the very end of the record, when you hear that crowd chanting, singing, after everyone recorded their verses and everything, I got the session back and I had all my friends from high school come in my apartment and we all started drinking and singing that at the end of the record. So like all that crowd effect in the end of the Mr. Carter is me and my friends from high school just like added on there. So I kind of did that as I don't know, I wanted to make it epic at the end and kind of like fulfill that dream or vision that I had in the beginning. So, and I also want to put my friends on it.
Yeah.
I think it's a funny thing just to have, you know?
Sounds like a fun time. I feel like that at its core is what music's about. Making music is like getting your friends together and just having a blast just in the recording room. And you can feel it on the record too. You can feel the vibe. When that vibe comes through, I think that's really where the best songs shine. It's like, they just got that extra something to them. Is there anything else that you want to share about this song that we haven't touched on so far? Anything else any like funny stories or memorable things that you made while we were producing it that we haven't got a chance to share yet?
There are two different versions of it where he had a completely different verse. Kendrick Lamar ended up releasing a version. He rapped over Mr. Carter beat and then put in an unreleased verse of Lil Wayne. It's called, you can find it on YouTube. It's Mr. Carter Part 2, I think it's called, with Kendrick Lamar. I just recently found out about this like a year ago, and I don't know how it slipped my radar, but I thought that was crazy that he did a version of that record and put in a secret unreleased Lil Wayne verse that was supposed to be for the record on it.
I would love to hop in to the actual project and just take it apart, honestly. Like, let's
do it.
What'd you use here? What'd you do this? Like, I'm going to nerd out about that. I know that, but let's hop in.
Let's do it. So Mr. Carter, it was sequenced on the MPC 2000. I think the piano and the organs actually came from Contact. I was like using MIDI to trigger my my desktop with MIDI and sequencing everything on the MPC and then re-recording it into the MPC and then re-dumping everything back into Pro Tools. It was a crazy, weird,
Why that workflow though? Just
because I don't know why. I like putting it back into the MPC. It kind of does something to the samples and sounds when you put it back into it. They were saved in these right here. These are called zip disks. They hold 100 megs. 100 megs. Actually, so I was going to demonstrate that, but my MPC ended up breaking right before Maddie got here. So I put everything in Logic and I got the same sounds, but you'll get the same concept of it.
Yeah, so you just mapped everything in Logic to the old sounds that you did and put them on the pads of
Correct.
This newer MPD.
MPD, correct. So we're doing the digital version of what I did analog in 2007, I guess you could call it.
Cool.
The first thing what I did with the vocals, right? I wanted to pitch shift him up the old school way by just raising the semitones on the MP. So what I had to do is I had to take the instrumental and slow it down for him to sing over. And it sounded like this. Mr. Carter, tell me where have you been? Where have you been? All I did was I changed the semitones 6 steps up pretty much. Like normally it would be, hey, Mr. Carter. But I used the analog wheel here and just changed it to 6 on the MP. Hey, Mr. Carter, where have you been? They've been asking, they've been searching, they've been wondering why. And I also had some chops that never made it into the actual final record. Get him home, get him home, get him home. Hey, Mr.
I feel big. Like not big in the sense of weight, nothing like that, like colossal, like
I kind of it was too much, so
I was gonna say that.
I never ended up using any of those chops, but I still have.
They sound cool.
Yeah.
They sound cool, but what made it into the record, I think, is
perfect.
Is exactly.
Sometimes less is more,
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's hop into the Pro Tools session and what that looks like.
The drums, I actually have 2 kicks going on here. I have. I got the snare. Now everything that's grayed out here is muted pretty much. I don't know why I don't like deleting it. I just like muting it because
maybe you'll come back to it.
Maybe, right?
Like,
yeah. So I mute stuff all the time until I get into the final session.
What was the reason behind these 2 kicks here? Did you have one more of a subby and one more?
Yeah,
more
so
punch?
one has more of low end to it. I think it's this first kick here.
Yeah.
That one has more of a low end to it, and this one is more of a punch to it. So,
even just the kick and snare though sound really good together.
yeah, I mean the trick is you want your stuff to sound good already. If it doesn't sound good from the beginning, you might as well change your sound up. And we got the hi-hat and tambourines, live tambourines.
Oh, come on, live.
Yeah. And this is I do this a lot. I'll hear 2 tones. Yeah, see? I like the high end of that and the low end or mid of this, and this right here is my secret weapon.
There it is. The secret weapon.
That's what tricked Wayne. That is actually in the Motif ES. In in a drum kit where you just hit a note.
That's what you recorded into there, you think?
I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I also have, this is my bass. My bass is awful. Awful. Terrible. But then you get Infamous in there, right? Like he gets funky on the bass. So you got
Was it recorded through an amp? Or
it was recorded through an amp.
Nice.
We did it. I think we did this at his house. Yeah, I think I took the session to his house because we were doing something else there. Yeah, he had a Line 6 amp, I think it was.
Cool. Yeah. The bass sound by itself I think the drums sound really good, but the bass sound without the rest of the mix kind of sounds like it doesn't sound that good, in my opinion. And I think it's just because you don't have the rest of everything there, what I mean?
No, yeah, I think that's exactly it, yeah.
And I think a lot of times if you're soloing something and it sounds bad and you get it to sound good and then you put it in the full context, it just falls apart, right? But this sounds great in the full mix. Just with the drums and the bass together, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, that's gonna work. But then with everything, I'm like, oh, it works really well.
Oh yeah, and then especially when you get the vinyl crackle in there.
The vinyl crackle helps to bring it together. Yeah. That feels so much more samply. Okay. Oh, those are beautiful.
So I got those. I got that from, it was a Contact. Organs, also from Contact. Got the organs. And then the strings. Brass section, which starts the song. I just thought of one of the main tricks that I did too that I completely forgot. When I put this in the MPC, I added the MPC 2000 XL's filter in here and filtered it through the MPC before I spit it back out and had this. So that actually added to the more sampley sound.
Was it just a bandpass that you had in here, or what?
Yeah, nice. It was some sort of bandpass filter that they have. If I was able to move this,
yeah, if you could, that's all good.
As you see here, Wayne only uses one track.
No ad libs, no background,
no ad libs.
Nothing.
They're all multiple punches from different takes.
Yeah.
There were 3 different verses that he scrapped before the final version that came out.
And he didn't write down a single one. He just was like, that's not the vibe. Let's re-record it.
He does that a lot. Actually, this verse here that I have in this session, this is the unheard verse. For context, this is the verse that Kendrick Lamar took and put in his version of Mr. Carter.
Get the fuck out of my business, cause I've been handling the fuck out of my business. Grind, got perfect attendance, fly it in first class.
When you have somebody like Lil Wayne in the studio, or like Jay-Z, are you adjusting the beat real time?
No.
Or
what's good with Wayne is he lets me, whenever he records something, he'll let me have the session back. So I could grab the vocals and kind of like redo the beat and then send it back to him. So that's what we did here. After he recorded his part and I went over and he gave me the session, I brought it back to my crib. And then like I rearranged the beat, I muted, the certain areas, and I kind of like highlighted, his certain parts of this verse, and and then I added more. I added a crowd effect at the end.
Yeah, you gave him what you thought was a finished beat at first, and then he comes back, maybe adds a couple, like, hey, maybe I want this verse longer or something like that. Does that ever happen?
He won't come back. Like if he wants something extended, the engineer could just grab the 2-track and loop certain parts and extend to however Wayne likes it. 'Cause that's one of the first things he'll do too. He'll listen to it and then he'll go, oh, let's arrange it this way. Put this part where these sounds come in, put that as the intro. Da, 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 da.
Gotcha.
So he kind of already does a little arranging. Oh, you know what? The crowd part. To begin with, I put a sound effect of an actual crowd. So I started with the actual singer first. I had him sing it in there because I kind of wanted like the harmony of it in there.
They've been asking, they've been searching.
They're all really tucked under there. I think I also pitch shifted a lot of the crowds.
Hey, Mr. Carter.
Yeah.
Tell me where you've been.
That's us clapping.
Nice.
Yeah, only the girls do it.
Nice.
There was a lot of layering, as you can see.
Yeah.
Just that was what? A lot.
Yeah, according to my calculations, a lot.
Yeah.
You said you pitch shifted some of them?
I think some of them got pitch shifted.
I see a P shift right there. Yeah.
Ooh, yes. The girls got pitch shifted. So I pitch shifted the girls up or down.
Yeah, down.
Yeah, so that's them normal. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was just to get as many layers of different textures in there. Yeah.
How much of a difference do you think it made once you sent it off to the person in charge of mixing, and then they started adding
Fabian Marashillo. I was in the room with him when he mixed it. Yeah, but it's a night and day. The mix sounds amazing.
We kind of dove into some of the tracks, but from this, you said that you kind of spent the next 3 years working with Lil Wayne after this album, or was this kind of just all intermixed?
Oh, it was all sporadic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still sending Wayne stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah.
With Wayne, it's just you're throwing darts and seeing which one sticks, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, what percentage of song you think you've been making albums?
Oh my God, very little, man. Because he records all the time, so he doesn't stop, even in between albums. Like, especially when I was his personal engineer for 3 years, and yeah, it was just like nonstop. And he'll record like hundreds of songs for one album, and then choose like whatever 16 songs or 20, whatever it is.
Before we wrap up, is there anything that you want to plug while we're here? Anything that you got going on, that you're working on? Any projects or maybe social media that you want to plug?
Yeah, come check me out on Instagram at Drew Correa. Also, check out for a new YouTube series I'm going to be releasing soon called The Beats Arcade. You will be pleasantly surprised with this new project. If you want to book studio time, entwanted.com.
I'll leave links to all those in the description below. If you want more breakdowns and interviews like this, hit subscribe. And then leave a comment down below of what song I should do next.